What about if I raise the output? Will that do something? Shit. Hold on. Let me see. Can you hear me now? What about if I raise the output? Will that do something? Shit. Hold on. Let me see. All right. Let me see if I can. All right. That should be all right. About Can you hear me now? What about if I raise the output? Will that do something? Yo, you can hear me now? Does it sound clear? Could you let me know if you can hear me loud and clear now? Good? That's what's up, my man. Thank you, man. Thank you for helping me out here. So we have an amazing episode for you today here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and we're gonna have a lot to break down. The Canelo Alvarez situation. How do you guys feel about it? We could talk about upcoming matches. Um, Angelo Leo is going to be fighting Luis Alberto Lopez. And, the Canelo fight did get scheduled for September 14th against Edgar Berlanga. And I want to know what you guys' thoughts on that. And how do you guys feel that, Canelo Alvarez, I mean, he's not going to fight David the Monster Benavidez. Let's just face it. I mean, it is what it is. How many times have they hinted around to this fight where Canelo Alvarez was going to fight David the Monster Benavidez, and that fight never came to fruition? So I'm not banking on the fact that, yeah, um, who else could you have wanted him to see him fight? William Schofield. Like, it was even rumored that he was going to even entertain a fight with who's that? Chris Eubank. And like, look, Canelo Alvarez has been criticized in the boxing eye for taking lackluster opponents in recent bouts. The man has over 60 professional fights. He's 33 years old, heading into 34. And he has given us a lot of action, a lot of blood, so to speak, in the sport of boxing. When we think of the champions and the men that were able to do it, such like Canelo Alvarez, there's not many men in the sport of boxing that can say that they have achieved the status of a Canelo Alvarez as far as financial, championship status, and so forth. Um, Canelo Alvarez, in recent years, he's protected the image of him being the king. And no sooner that they put that crown on him, it's been a campaign of him fighting just the guy you don't want to see, or Triple G once too many times. You see, Canelo Alvarez right now, taking this fight right here against Edgar Berlanga. I'm a Puerto Rican, right? And I'm going to tell you right now that Edgar Berlanga is not ready for Saul Canelo Alvarez. Not in the sense of the way his career has been going of late. He had a rocket start of a career. He had like 16, I believe, 16 knockouts, first round knockouts. In fact, like, there was like nobody getting out of the first round with Edgar Berlanga. Then, just like a lot of our fighters in the world, right? We fall into this pitfall of the lamplight, the money, the women, the drugs, the liquor, you name it. Pick your poison. Edgar Berlanga fell right into that same stereotypical that when you start to get fame and a little bit of money, this is what can happen. You forgot what got you to the dance. And Edgar Berlanga is a prime example of where we thought he was going to be a better fighter than where he should be right now in his career, and he hasn't shown up. In fact, him himself, most fighters can say, I'm fighting criticism and this, but it ain't easy. You're not the one lacing them up and getting inside of the ring, right? Okay. And I can respect that, right? But when you're finally knocking out your last opponent, right? What was it? Buracek, right? He knocks him out. He cries after the knockout, which what? From a man that had 16 first round knockouts, you're going to cry about a knockout? That should be second nature to you. You know why? Because there's been a gap of he's been boxing, a little inactivity, and lackluster performances. And Edgar Berlanga himself was like, he's the type of fighter that accomplishes one milestone and it's time to party. He thinks that by knocking out that guy, that won over and erased everything else he's been doing. He'll go right back to the party. That's what's kind of his mentality and mindset for the game is not as that of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, you could say a lot about Saul Canelo Alvarez, but the one thing you can't say, he's not in the game full-heartedly. He has his ups and his downs, and he has been known to indulge in his money now and the fame. But he takes care of business. Okay? And the way that Saul Canelo Alvarez, for most boxing fans that are saying that he's ducking David the Monster Benavidez, and the question is, why hasn't any other sanctioning body stripped them of their belts, right? The thing is, Saul Canelo Alvarez has been following by the rules, and he's only playing the game with the hand he's dealt. If the WBC is showing him flexibility, that's one organization. But to tell you the truth, right? If you want the truth be told about Saul Canelo Alvarez, he's slick, right? He did defend his mandatory to the IBF. He did fight the mandatory to the WBA. And that pursuit that David the Monster Benavidez was pursuing him, for some reason, David the Monster Benavidez kept going the WBC way. You see, you have to understand that these sanctioning bodies just don't take fighters out of nowhere and enter them into their sanctioning ranking. No, the fighter has to notify them. That's how that works. You have to notify the sanctioning body that you're interested in going up their ranking system and one day and going after one of their world titles. That's how that works. You have to enter. You can enter into all four of them. A lot of fighters do that. Okay? And he might have felt, David the Monster Benavidez might have felt like, if I go the IBF way or the WBO way or the WBA way, I'm going to run into the same wall. But he should have at least tried it. He should have at least went after the IBF belt. Out of all the sanctioning body belts, it's well known in the sport of boxing, if you want to get a man's attention, go after the IBF. Get in the IBF ranking. And it would have been a force of vacate for Saul Canelo Alvarez should have David the Monster Benavidez went that way. Why he never went that way? I don't know. Now he wants to come back down. Saul Canelo Alvarez wants to take Edgar Berlanga September 14th. Look, there's not a lot I can say about Edgar Berlanga. In one training camp, from the time he took off from knocking his last opponent out, which was okay of an opponent, no Saul Canelo Alvarez, but if you was to take the last time he was in the ring, right, versus now, one training camp against arguably one of the top pound for pound, if not top 5 pound for pound fighters in the world, he's going to take a jump from having, a pretty impressive knockout streak. That's what they're going to use to try to build this fight. And they're going to try to use ethnic race. They're going to try to use the old Puerto Rican, Mexican rivalry. This is not what that is. Okay, if the Puerto Ricans had a good fighter to show up for their account, then we would be rocking. But I'm not going to say that I speak for all Puerto Ricans in the world. I'm going to speak for just me. That's not the Puerto Rican I want representing against the best Mexican, arguably the best Mexican fighter we have in our generation today. Nah, not the way you guys are dressing him up. And like, it's going to leave a bad taste in a lot of Puerto Ricans' mouth. And I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? This fight is basically up to Edgar Berlanga, how he wants to like show up in the fight. You can possibly lose in a fight and your stock can go up if you make a good account of yourself. Depending on how he goes, bro, it's going to be a typical Saul Canelo Alvarez fight where that Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to drag him out to deep water and he's going to drown Edgar Berlanga. Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to, look, for my money, right? You know, look, man, I know that Edgar Berlangas have taken a lot of criticism, my man, and I'm speaking like for real, like 100, right? Edgar, man, if there was any time in your life that you needed to stop fucking around night and day, eat shit boxing, like truly, like I don't give a fuck what time it is in the night. If you wake up, go jogging. Like do above average shit. Just don't do the regular shit. Time hour, I go to the gym at this time, I leave at this time, then the rest of the day is mine. No, the entire days, every minute, every second needs to be dedicated to that Saul Canelo Alvarez fight. You know, and I don't know what kind of account we're gonna get. So to tell you the truth, you know, I just want Edgar Berlanga to make to show up in the fight. And if he's gonna go down in the blaze of the glory, he got one of the biggest fights. He's got the lottery fight right here on his lap. You know, make a good account of yourself. You know, maybe even perhaps shock the world. You know, Edgar Berlanga right now is really thinking that he can go into this fight and that he's gonna just beat. I don't know what he's thinking in his head, actually, right? But I hope him and his coach are actually looking over. They got plenty of film on Saul Canelo Alvarez where that you would think like, yeah, like you could devise a better game plan against Saul. So yeah. So now, like, you know, what's next? You know, uh Edgar Berlanga right now has a chance to win all these four belts and shock the world. I'm not gonna say, you know, that in a good world that I could see him beating Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's like I've been going over through it in my head all day, and I've just been saying this fight doesn't make sense when the world knows exactly what fight we want to have. Now, one of the most interesting topics that I came across was that Prince Al Sheikh, the Saudi prince, has entered a partnership deal with Top Rank and Oscar Golden Boy Promotion, where that they have entered a partnership where like now Al Sheikh got like two of the biggest players in boxing where that he wants to make it. And I had spoke about this, and then Oscar De La Hoya made a video. He went online. Y'all saw it, right? Where that he was like, no, nobody approached me. Nobody talked to me about it. Don't believe the rumors. No sooner, right? Yo, check it out, right? Hold on. As a matter of fact, the Prince Al-Sheikh, right? He had issued he had went on social media, of course, and he 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 made a letter and shit discussing his relationship with both Top Rank. This is the one from Top Rank. That's the letter from Top Rank, and him, you know, honoring. You see on the top it says Top Rank right there, TR, right? And then the other one was from Golden Boy. All right, stop. I don't know why. Okay, the other. Okay, that's top rank. And then the other one was from Golden Boy. You see how it says Golden Boy? And you see how it says right there? Look. And y'all can look this up because the prince put it up himself. What's up, Bam Bam? How you doing? Salute, baby. How you doing? Yeah, so the prince, Alashi and them, I think they got two big players already. And because you guys know how much business Ed Hearn does with them already. So like I think it to for me anyway, I thought the biggest hurdles would have been Top Rank and Golden Boy because Top Rank is affiliated with ESPN, the wide leader in sports. So I said to myself, I said, yo, like, thank you, Bam Bam. So like I said to myself, yo, they would be the hardest to get, and he already got them in partnership. So all he really needs is Matchroom, a few big players, a couple players. What was he need left? He take Matchroom. He need the PBC. Uh I don't think that Don King is really like all that big with fighters like Adrian Broner. Um, Don King still got a couple good, decent fighters. He does. Um, but if you can get those top four guys right there, you'll basically have a trifecta. Yeah, you'll basically have a pyramid in boxing. I can work with that. Every young guy coming up right now will enter to now the to the Saudi prince's fucking organization where that he wants it kind of like the UFC, best fighting the best type shit. Um, then he's gonna try to like look. Here's the thing with boxing, right? With men and men of power, men when when they have a lot of money, they think they can buy anything. There's been a lot of men throughout the history of boxing that have tried to control boxing, and they've all found out the same thing. It's just too many moving pieces, too many entities. You might have your rise at one time, but no sooner that you have your rise, you will have your descent in boxing. Out with the old and with the new. Nothing personal. It's all business, baby. Right? So it's 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 like funny to see how the prince, right? He's just like whipping out the checkbook, name your price. Look, your company's worth this much. I'm gonna give you double. He's making offers that these guys can't refuse, right? Okay. Always throwing money at a situation, never always. Sometimes you think it would solve it, but money doesn't always solve everything. And when you have a lot of entities, right, there's a problem. You might be able to secure the big players here, but you're going to get a lot of pushback from Asia. Yeah. You think that all the Japanese fighters, the Filipinos promoters, all those people in Russia, they just going to lay down too? They're going to, you think they're just going to fall in line with the success that like countries like Japan are having right now? They're on a fucking high, a big high. And they're like, we think we can sustain ourselves right now with what we got. It's not forever, but we're thinking we got other champions coming out that are going to be Japanese. And we don't need to sign to your monopoly when we can make our own money. And if we sign with you, we're going to get a percentage where that if we stay by ourselves, we get 100%. So we enter a partnership with you. It don't mean we get 100. A partnership is a partnership, meaning at some point, you're getting the lion's share. You're buying us out. So, you know, when I see this happening, it looks promising, right? And it looks like something that can help boxing. I'm in agreement with it, right? If Alashik can control the majority of the biggest boxing promoters in boxing, he can control a big part of boxing. Could the lower weight divisions, and because overseas, the Philippines, the Japanese, all those guys over there, you see what happens is those are all like lower weight divisions. Las Vegas for the lower weight divisions is Japan right now. That's Las Vegas for the lower weight divisions from like 122 and down. That's Las Vegas, Japan. You fighting in Japan, you making money. For a fighter that small, you making that top dollar over there. Yes, yes. And that's the problem, that I'm not sure if he can control all entities. Now, once you control the bigger players, right? The smaller ones, they got two choices: either fall in line or get crushed, because they're not going to be able to sustain. I get it, right? And as a promoter right now, I'd be a little concerned. Unless you had fighters on the other side of the map, right? But as far as America, either you join or you're going to get steamrolled by money. That's exactly what they're going to try to do, you know. But Al Sheikh is trying to regulate boxing and finally make it a sport where that one day it can get the recognition and the respect it should get. It is one of the most dangerous sports, if not the most dangerous sport out of all sports. And you go figure that the most dangerous sport out of any sport in the world is the less popular. They used to fill the coliseums. People would come out and see fighters and warriors for centuries. It's something that has reigned through mankind. Man on his own devices will kill each other, bro. We need rules. We need gods. We need religion. We need all of these things to keep us a little in line. Without any of these things, we would attack each other. Absolutely. Without a doubt. A world without rules, regulations, and government, yeah, shit don't work. Fuck it. Hey, it is what it is. But it makes a society. Whether you deem it functional or not, we live it. Experience your life, you know, every day, one day at a time, and that's it, right? That's what they say, right? That's how I live it. And some of these fighters, you know, they put everything on the line. You know, I was watching an interview today. They were talking about Tank Davis. They were saying how Tank Davis is even stuttering in words already. And he's fairly young. He's fairly young. Most of these men and women, when they leave the sport or the sport that they, you know, are in, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever, right? When they leave that sport, you got to understand that a lot of people don't even think about this, right? Your window of being a professional athlete is extremely small. Let's say on average, you become a professional athlete at 20 years old, right? Let's just say 20. Some are coming in young, 17, 18, 19. Okay, I get it. But just for argument's sake, let's just pick a number. 20 years old. From 20 years old to 30 years old is 10 years. You're already in your 30s. That's it, 10 years. You got 5 more years over here, and maybe the 4 or whatever if you came in young and you were special. Meaning, By the time you retire as a professional athlete, should be under 40 years old. You haven't even started life at 40 years old. Throughout your life, there's periods where we think, oh, shit's never going to change. I'm always going to love her, that one girl. We're foolish when we're young and shit, right? Then you start to realize you don't like the same things you like when you were 10, when you were 20. You don't play with those toys when you were 10 years old, when you were 20 years old, right? Meaning your life changes basically, and you go through a new set in your life every 20 years. Those are phases in your life. They're sanctioned in 20 years. From the day you're born to 20 years old, that's a life and experience right there. From 20 to 40, men don't start becoming men until they're like in their 40s. You see, Gervonta Davis, a lot of these fighters are coming to themselves now. They're starting to mature, but age is not on their side. Where that Gervonta right now, he can't even secure a fight, right? Gervonta Davis was scheduled, went into negotiation with Loma. And all of a sudden, Loma wants to go on a vacation. He's not ready. When have you heard these exact words out of Lomachenko before in the past? Think about it. He said these exact same statements whenever it came up to fight, and I'm going to say it, a Black American fighter. It's the motherfucking truth. Yo, mark my words. You can go back right now, and I'll stand on it on this channel because I know you're going to find it. And I'll test everybody. Go on YouTube and look up when Lomachenko was supposed to fight young 19-year-old Devin Haney, that he vacated the belt to Devin Haney and was upgraded to the franchise, right? What did he say before ducking Devin? He was going on vacation. He wasn't motivated. Yo, the same exact lines. It's like every single time when it comes to fight, to try to secure that tough fight, Loma doesn't want to fight. He went on a year hiatus. Now I can admit, after fighting Jermaine Ortiz, right? I thought that whole, I went to the war shit and scandal, and I can speak freely about it now, right? Because I already knew this. I knew that when Jermaine Ortiz was sparring against Loma, Loma would complain about his shoulder and that he needed surgery in his shoulder from that Teofimo Lopez fight. So at one point, he had to put his career on hold and go under the knife. And I knew that to be true because Jermaine Ortiz is from my town and he's been sparring against Loma for 3 years. He helped Loma in several fights to preparation for Loma's fights. So I know that because I've personally talked to Jermaine. Now, the statute of limitations has passed, so now I can share this with you guys without hurting anybody, because when he took that year off, that he said, oh, my country's at war, Loma went under surgery for his shoulder to fix that shoulder. He just didn't want the boxing world to know. His father said that if you announce that that's showing weakness or that you're hurt. So I'm not like 100. I wasn't in the fucking operating room, but I took it like that. I said, yo. So when Loma came up with that excuse, oh, I need a year, I said, nah, he's buying time. So I didn't really take it like a duck because I really knew that he was going to fix that shoulder. At some point, he had to address it. So then he loses to Devin Haney. He finally takes the fight, right? Because it was for 4 belts, everything. Fuck it. If you're going to let it ride on one night, that was the perfect opportunity. So he did take the Devin Haney fight at last, right? Then critics said that the only reason why he took the that George Kamboza fight is because he wanted to right the wrongdoing for losing the 4 belts. No. How the fuck do you right the wrongdoing with winning 1 belt? You're not righting the wrongdoing. You're competing. You're an active fighter. You just won the world title in Australia. So how the fuck are you playing boxing right now, Loma? So let's speed shit up to present day. You mean to tell me you can secure the cash cow of boxing, one of the cash cows, which there's not many. You got the best dancing partner you can ever dream of. All the money's there. Las Vegas is there. The lights are there. Everything's in front of you. Tank Davis is the money fight. And now all of a sudden, you're not motivated. You're not motivated for possibly the biggest fight of your life. The biggest name, the biggest payout I can bet, and for 2 belts to unify. What the fuck motivates you? What the fuck motivates Loma if unifying the belts, the biggest payday, the biggest name, the biggest opponent, the opportunity of being the first man to beat Tank, what the fuck you need for motivation? What do you need to fight fucking Godzilla? You need to fight Tank Davis, David the Monster Benavidez, and Naoya Inoue at the same time? What do you want? What do we have to do to please you? You see, this is just a strategic move and a coward move by Loma's dad that controls Loma. Loma's dad is the reason why we got Lomachenko so old. 2 gold medals. Should have never been in there for 2 gold medals. What the fuck is 2 gold medals get you? Loma's dad has always been scared for Loma. And if he would put pillows around him. He's that kind of dad. It's like he knows what he got in his son. He believes in his son, but he's scared. He don't like to take risks. Loma's dad. Yeah, and I'll call it right here. If the Loma's dad ever want to come on, debate with me on this, we could talk as men. I'm, first time meeting somebody, I would rather read them, right? But it's the truth. It is the truth, bro. Loma's dad has always been cradling Loma, man. Always with Top Rank, yo, protect my son type shit. And Loma was fucking good by himself. For as much as good as Loma's dad did for Loma, he hurt him just as much as well. Because Loma wouldn't be who he is without his dad. Hell no. Hell no. Without his dad's tutelage and the way his dad brought Loma up, his dad was like a great type of dad, coach / trainer you would want for a child like that, right? As gifted as Loma. He just truly didn't believe in him enough to set him free. And that didn't come just at boxing. No. I've studied Loma and his dad, okay? I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. When Loma was in the amateurs, before Loma even was allowed to box, he boxed first. Then all of a sudden, I think he lost an amateur fight or whatever. His father didn't like his footwork. And he made Loma take like ballroom dancing classes for like 4 years. He went way over. That's 4 years of Loma's life where he was never in a boxing gym until Loma locked out. That he just did things too much. Like, for instance, 2 gold medals. The fuck is 2 gold? At what age did Loma come into professional boxing? He's going to have the quickest rise and descent out of boxing. I've always said it. What, he's got less than 18 fights right now? Shit, most fighters are not even contending for a world title at 18. It's fucking ridiculous. And a lot of people are like, oh shit, Loma, Loma. And I'm sitting there looking behind the scenes saying, what if? What if? What if we got Loma younger? Would he be a better champion? Would he have adapted to the pros better? Would he even be a better version of the Lomachenko we know today? Now we got this guy that wants to go on hiatus when the biggest fights are presented in front of him. I don't get it. A unification fight, the most money fight, pay-per-view fight, mandatory is Tank Davis. Red carpet treatment. You're on your way out of your career. At what point do you dare to be great again? You dared to be great against Devin Haney. You took that leap. You came up short. Fuck it. For that much money at the end of my career, you're damn right I'd fight Tank Davis. But for as much as he's saying his heart's not in the sport, if your heart's not in the sport, then vacate that belt. Don't hold up a person that his heart is in the sport. That's all I'm saying. Nah. Come on, man. Let me read some of y'all questions right now. Loma said he wasn't interested in the boxing anymore after knocking out Camboza. He only came back to get his father's. Shut the. Yeah, man. That's that bullshit Loma saying. Not you, of course, Bam, right? Because you're reporting the hot shit, right? That's exactly what he said, Bam. You know what I mean? Thank you for that. You know what I mean? I'm going to throw that up right there, right? But, and I mean that in regards to Loma's punk ass, right? Come on, man. His heart's not into it. Your heart's not into it. As soon as they said your next opponent and they were going to order you to fight Tank Davis and you were going to start negotiation against Tank Davis, all of a sudden your heart's not into it. But going into the George Camboza fight, you want to win a belt to do what with the belt? To put it on your shelf? You do know you're fucking with other boxing careers. They want a shot at that belt. They want shit to keep moving. You want to win a belt and tell the sanctioning body, guess what? I'm going on a vacation. I don't want to fight, represent your organization and your belt, possibly make the most money to pay out on your belt, because the sanctioning fees are based on a percentage on how much money they make fighting on that night. So I think it's 13% for everybody, right? I believe that's what it is, right? 3%, some shit, right? It all comes up to 13 at the end. Trust me. It's with that percent, that one. Yeah. Anyway, so what's going to happen is they could have stand to make that much money. And you said, what? What'd you say, Loma? What'd you say? My heart's not into it anymore. Get the fuck out of here, Loma. You shook. Bro, that's a duck. That's a duck. We got to call it. If it quacks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, and it walks like a duck. Motherfucker, it's not a chicken. It's not a chicken. I can tell you that right now, all right? Hey. Yo, listen. What did he say? Listen, guys. It's just the truth. So, look, will they get the Americans to fight the Americans? Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis? It's looking like they're the last two big names. What is Loma trying to do in Ukraine? Are they trying to wait out? Trying to wait out to see if all the Americans knock themselves off and then come in and fight the last man standing. I'm not sure. I've seen, boxing promoters and boxing play out like that, but I always believe before the Americans should fight the Americans, we have to keep it in mind that we are competing against all the nations. Every nation is competing in boxing. When you win a world title, you take it back to your country. Some countries have played keep away with the belts, and at times, when the American was on the outside looking in, saying, "Yo, I want a shot at that belt," they were just fighting European guys in their own country out there and paying keep away. And nations have and countries have been known to do as such, right? So we're competing. We always got to keep it in mind that although we clamor over the fact that we do want to see Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, we want to see Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., we want to see all our guys fight against each other because we're so brought up American. Because in all other sports, American baseball, for instance, America competes against who? America. The only teams in American baseball are American baseball players. They might be from other countries, but they're owned and ran where? In America. We're just competing against ourselves. So we're used of going at each other's throat. I don't think a lot of boxing fans have in the forefront, wait a minute, we're competing here for these belts. Those are like gold medals. The more that I cheer for this, Mexican fighter, and not that I'm saying that you can't or shouldn't, you could cheer for whoever you want, okay? But what I'm saying is, keep it in mind, we're competing. So when you don't see our fighters fight and attack each other, it might not be because of them, because a fighter's going to want to do what a fighter does, just fight. But managers and promoters know, yeah, we shouldn't take each other out just yet. If we're the best right now, let's clean out everybody else, then we'll fight. Same scenario played out with Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. You see? So it's not always, and I can't get that message out enough to like all boxing fans, because you should hear them on some of these YouTube channels. Oh, fuck Tank, fuck Shakur. You realize you're saying fuck America, right? That's an American boxing right there you're talking about. Shakur Stevenson, that's an American boxer you're talking about. Tank Davis. So while you're saying that about both of them, just know that you're saying fuck America. Straight up. There's no way around it. Because that's who you're trying to take down. We're competing for these gold medals. I love boxing and I cover boxing. I cover all boxing, all angles, and every boxer. I always repeat this and I remind my viewers, I don't have a horse in the race. I wish every boxer can win, but there has to be a winner and a loser. What I'm in the search of, what I search for when I watch fighting, for him. For him. And any fighter that's really a fighter could understand what I'm talking about. I want to see him, man. There was a part of me that thought that maybe I could have been him. You know what I mean? Whether it was true or not, maybe I didn't possess the skills, but if I wasn't able to compete, I wouldn't mind watching. And even though, I've gotten older in age and stuff, and I might not be able to pull off the things I've been able to pull off before, right? And stuff, I know what I'm watching. And I know what I'm seeing with my eyes, and I know how difficult it is. And when I watch boxing through a set of lenses as a boxer, as a warrior. And I want to see him. You know that Superman they always talk about? That fantasy fighter that fighters always dream about? You might imagine him inside of your head. He might have been you. And you go into that fight, whatever version you want to make it up on that day, whether it be a stellar knockout or a banged out, dragged out one. That's that Superman that you're looking for. That's everyone looks for that. I think we, as boxing fans, we have a tendency of um, taking our own very boxer and making him that Superman, you know? And I got to admit, I was born in a very interesting time. I got to see the Red Sox win a World Series after 86 years of bad luck, right? I got to see Haley's Comet. They say that comes around every 77 years. The alignment of the planets, every 1,000 years. I saw that. I saw the red sun, the moon, the Mars. I was born during an interesting period in time. And I was born during a period where I actually got to see the first three men in boxing history successfully unify all four belts in two separate weight divisions. And it happened in my era. That has never happened in the sport of boxing until now. All three men are currently active at the exact same time. Could they all be that great? Or is boxing evolving? Are these coaches opening their doors and teaching their secrets more and more? Are they not being stingy? It used to be that coaches wouldn't want to teach another fighter once they were done with their fighter. They kept a lot of things in-house or family. And not every family member is going to birth the next Floyd Mayweather, as Floyd could see. Not all your kids are going to turn out like you. So you got to venture out. You got to start teaching. And a lot of these coaches and a lot of these places in recent years have traveled out to other nations, other countries, and started doing as such. Junto Nakatoni is a Japanese fighter. He doesn't have a Japanese coach. Who's his coach? I'll leave you that for trivia. I want you guys to find out his coach's name. I know who he is, right? His first name starts with an R, but I'm not going to give you no more. But that's trivia, right? And look at the gym he comes from. You see? Look at who's teaching that Japanese dude. You know what I mean? And it goes to show you that the rich culture of boxing, there's nowhere else on the planet Earth you can come to and learn more about boxing than United States of America. The best boxers, the best fighters, the best champions in the world have come from the United States of America. The United States of America is now sharing and opening their doors to all the other nations so they can start to catch up. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, look, without America venturing out and teaching American boxing to the world, we would have never seen the Naoya Inoues, the Triple Gs, the Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, the Usyk, the Oliver Usyk, all these great fighters, had it not been for American boxing. So let's keep that funky. But I love it because, let me tell you, I've been that guy where I felt at the end of a fight, a street fight or something, I was like, I don't feel like this guy could beat me. I was just under, he was levels above me. He was trained and I wasn't. Had I knew what he knew, I would whoop his ass. I felt like that before. I have felt like that. It wasn't my will as a man or my threshold for pain. You could just be a punching bag and your desire to just want to hit this guy. You just don't have the technique. You don't understand what's happening. It's not your will as a man. It's not none of that. You give that same man that kind of training. Let's see how the fight plays out. And that's what I talk about. Where is he coming from? Where is the best fighter in the world? Who is he? What am I looking for? I'm looking for him. Every time I watch boxing, I think I get a glimpse of one fighter. Could he beat him? There's a couple fighters right now active. I still have my Terrence Crawford, the Naoya Inoue's, Tank Davis's, and I'm looking at them. I'm saying, could he be him? You know, um, and in sports, there's always been like athletes that always look back at their career and say, like Tom Brady, for instance, I wish I knew it was the glory days then so that I would have enjoyed it now. He was like, I just kept going. I just kept going, and he didn't understand or know when the glory and that's a trick question because in actuality, not a lot of us can know that or catch it. Know that that was the glory days or the pinnacle of your sport and that was where you were going to reach, or could you achieve more? You know, so there were a lot of athletes that talked about that, and these are the glory days. We're going to look back and we're going to talk about a lot of these fights. One of the fights I hope we talk about eventually is Saul Canelo Alvarez against David the Monster Benavidez. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I do know one thing for sure. If at least Prince Alashi gets his way in America, where Saul Canelo Alvarez is stands to make where the most money, where you stand to make the most money. Not in Mexico. Where do you stand? So if he controls boxing in America, he might just have to fall in line. But like I talked about this, a lot of men that throw money at boxing, they don't understand one thing. One thing. In order to control something, you have to control the entity that has the power. You can't control that sport by controlling the players. That never works. That's just like the players going on strikes against the bosses. It don't work. You know what I'm saying? What you got to control is the bosses. And why I say all of that is Prince Alashi is going after the people, the players, top rank, golden boy. What they need to control are the sanctioning bodies. Those are the bosses. If you don't control the sanctioning bodies, there's going to be too much of rotation of players. He would truly have to try to get down a fucking monopoly in boxing without letting no outside entities or small promoters ever coming up. I don't think you can do that. See what I'm saying? There are laws in place, and in every city, boxing matches are held at different rules, standards, structures, sanctioning bodies, fucking boxing association. For example, the same boxing association in New York is not the same boxing association as California. If you were to control boxing, you would have to control these belts first. If I was the Prince Alashi, I would buy the fucking organizations first. You control the belts, you control the promoters. Stop going after the promoters and go after the belts. That's what I would have did. Fuck top rank, fucking golden boy. Now that I sit here and I think about it, yeah, I go after the belts. They're separate entities. They're actually a building. They got a boss. You can legitimately could buy all the stock in the fucking belt and own it. You control those belts, you control everything else. What are my sources saying? My sources are saying that's almost like a done deal for September 14th. for the Canelo Alvarez Benavidez fight. That's just like um what they're actually doing is looking for they were looking at three different locations, venues. The date is Saul's date. The date's not going to change. The promotion is trying to please Saul and get it on the date he wants it, which is September 14th. So out of the locations that they're looking for, and they already saying the T-Mobile Arena, right? From what I'm hearing behind the scenes, okay. So and if that's official, then this fight is pretty much a done deal. The way you can do your own investigation on the Saul Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga fight, the way you could do your, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it. I should just do it right now, right? What you would have to do is go to Boxing Record. You go to Boxing Record like this, right? You go up here and you type in Alvarez. Is it, yo, whenever I, oh yeah, I always forget that. You would have to, well, let me not do it. Come on, give me a break, please. His name's not Canelo in Boxing Record. I always type in Canelo first. His name is actually Saul Alvarez is his real name. And I have a tendency of always, when I write it in Boxing Record, I'll put Canelo out and the Boxing Record says no results, no results. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? Canelo is actually um Carmel, another way to say Carmel, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, some people say like it's cinnamon because in a way it is, but it's just like caramel, like a caramel chocolate bar. They got the caramel in the middle, like that. You know what I'm saying? Because ironically, he's a Mexican with red hair that's white. Talk about the redheaded stepchild, right? Right? He's got all the fucking features, right? Yo, that's crazy. I gotta erase all that shit. What was I doing? What the fuck was I doing? Edgar Berlanga. I was gonna type in Edgar Berlanga and fucking Saul Canelo Alvarez for what? God damn it. I hate when se me fue el hilo. What was I doing? I was looking for Saul's for what? Anyway. Shit. Somebody remind me real quick. Hey yo, Bam, y'all can hear me out there pretty good? How y'all like the show? Listen, smash that like button for me, guys out there. Do that for me. What the fuck is going on with this server? They changed up on the servers on YouTube and shit and been sending out the notifications. Yo, I saw like 5 big YouTube boxing channels today talk about the same thing. Same exact thing, bro. Look, I got fucking 8 viewers. When's the last time I had 8 viewers? Like crazy. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. To check it for the fight. Um, okay, what you can do is it's simple. It's some simple shit. I'm not gonna act like I'm doing rocket sciences here, right? All you gotta do is go to Box Record, right? Box Record, and type in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Not don't type in Saul. Type in Saul Alvarez. Oh, I think you could be Canelo Alvarez, but I typed in Canelo Alvarez instead of Saul, right? Or if you don't want to waste any time, just type in Edgar Berlanga, right? You type in Edgar Berlanga, they're gonna show his next opponent next to his name, and if it says Saul Canelo Alvarez, it's gonna tell you where they're gonna fight, the date, everything. It'll say it there. You could type up either fighter. That's why I'm saying you don't have to go Saul Canelo Alvarez way, right? You could type in Edgar Berlanga, whichever fighter you type in, they're gonna have their opponent. That's when you know officially the fight is sketched in stone like that. Unless somebody gets injured and they pull out like that. But at least the fight is announced. It's official. They got a location. They've talked over the money. Now they just gotta train and make the weight for September 14th. That's it. So if you ever want to find out about that, like if one of your guys is fighting, sometimes they're not as fast because sometimes you'll hear the announcement before they finalize. The fighters themselves know the fight's gonna happen. Sometimes the fighters take to social media before the ink has dried on the contract. Not everything has been talked about. So it's not technically official, but they're working on it, and that you've been told that's going to be your next opponent type shit. So it's sometimes shits go as according to the plan, and you announced it before Box Record did or whatever as a fighter, and you get your views, your clicks, your likes, and then the fight comes to fruition, and you're not looked like a liar. Sometimes it backfires and fighters are stand there. I don't know, man. I thought that this was the next fight. And now all of a sudden that guy is fighting another guy. And you're like, huh? So, but everywhere has been reporting this, that Edgar Berlanga, Mike Carpenter reported it. Some of the top YouTube boxing channels reported it. ESPN, I haven't heard anything from them. Although I have not had the privilege to go on. I've been tracking down other stories and other things as well, and dealing with new equipment. So, yeah, absolutely. I just recently went out. Man, I want to show you guys this, but I also, you know, don't need to show you guys my coffee cups and shit that I got laying around. But I ended up getting a piece of that equipment and shit. Bam Bam, check it out. So I got that Bam, and I got the Stream Deck. I got it like this. That my PlayStation 5. I played on that one, and I watch you guys on this one right here, like that. You know what I'm saying? But I got that right there now, bam. So I'm trying to like work that the volume and everything, and find the perfect tuning and shit. So hopefully when I play this video back, I like the video. I try to like set a couple, but just bear with me while I'm going through this right here. But guys, listen, look, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Um, did it do it? Come on, my dude. Are you serious right now? You're not gonna really, really right now? That's some bullshit. This is some bullshit right now. Yeah, I've been having some problems with this. I don't know what the fuck is. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look something up. Bam. No, Box Record has bam. Box Record is 24 hours supposed to. Yeah, but the problem is that they have like different, like it's so much going on in boxing. I'm pretty sure they like give like one guy one division or something, and it's their job to go in and because when Naoya Inoue won all 4 belts on Box Rec, the same day it was updated that he had all 4 belts. The same fucking day. When who else lost their belt? I forgot who it was that lost their belt. Oh, when Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr. That morning, when I got up from watching the fight, Terrence Crawford had all 4 belts on Box Rec. So they're basically a 24. Sometimes they don't catch everything, depending on who they got going on working. They probably, I don't know how they do it there. I don't work for Box Rec, right? But I don't think one person can upgrade that much information and be aware of that much shit in fighting. I think it's a collective of people. You know, you got five divisions type shit, and you're responsible to make sure that our Box Rec information is accurate. Sometimes it's off. They've had like fighters on Box Rec living in different cities. Yeah, and I've heard them on YouTube joking about it. Like on Box Rec, they got this dude living here, and he's like, "No, I was born here." Like, you know, so everyone's not perfect, and Box Rec could take a little bit, but for the most part, they're the closest you're gonna get. They're the closest you're gonna get, because if you were to go to the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO like I do, right? Their website, their ranking system, motherfuckers had Subriel Matias, the champion, for like almost 2 weeks after he lost to Liam Paro. I kept going to their website. It was Subriel Matias, his picture with the belt. I'm like, wow, this is fucking depressing. You guys need to update your system. Now, they take a long time to update their system. You might see some fighters or some fights and this belt or that, and you might get misled information. And you might not be caught up, because not all of us, not even including myself, I don't have the luxury to watch every fucking fight. Are you crazy? That's why I have you guys too, to inform me. We talk about it, this, that, and the third, whatever, you know? But yeah, come on. This is fucking crap right now, dog. I don't understand why that shit just turns off by itself. All right. All right. I got it on. Come on, baby. Yo, did it do the paper? Huh? Hey, yo. Hey, yo, Boogie. Boogie, come on. Boogie, I ain't getting no message. Did you, Boogie? Did you hear that? No, Boogie. Boogie, it didn't do the baby. It didn't do it, did it? Huh? Huh? Huh?
What did he say?
Ah, only once. Hey, yo, you know how we do here at Round One Sports Talk?
Another one.
Another one. Yo, did you hear that one right there? Did that pop off right there? But only once. It worked. I heard all of it. Yeah, yeah, Blade. Blade, who that? Blade? Hey, yo, Blade. We gotta give you the. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey, yo, stop playing with your boy. Huh? Hey, yo, just like Goodman when he went in the ring with against Naoya anyway. You know what I'm saying?
A few moments later.
He changed his mind. You know, a few moments later, he did not want to fight that man. Listen. So, look, guys, whether or not Shakur Tank happens, I think at this point, yeah, they should fight each other. Yeah, it's a unification. At this point, I mean, no, Burichek is the other guy there from Ukraine, right? So there's two Ukrainian champions, right? Yeah. And then if not him, what they're talking about is Tank Davis being ordered to fight Isa Pitbull Cruz, but I don't see how you can order that when they're in two different weight divisions. Now, There are structures that are in, the boxing belts, like the WBO. We've talked about it. You can challenge the above sanctioning the above champion. Now, silently, and I've always known this rule did exist in the WBA. You guys got to remember that all these other belts got their rule structures, their foundation, and all their guidelines. Basically, it was from the WBA, which started all of this. Okay. So there is a rule there, yeah. But the WBA doesn't push you. It's the type of rule that is structured in the WBA where that you can activate it to let them know that you're serious about challenging another champion in the above weight division. Okay. Now, just like the IBF was one of the only belts to have a 10-pound weight claw, that has been in the IBF throughout every weight division since the IBF has been, I think, an organization. I think a little after that, they implemented that, right? A few years after or whatever, right? So, now, guess what's happening? The WBA is going to start to implement that same ruling of a 10-pound rehydration claw, which they put it in practice against Tank Davis and Frank the Ghost Martin. So that guys that are trying to be weight bullies and cutting an excessive amount of weight just to fight a smaller guy so that they have a better advantage of becoming champion, no. Go fight in your own weight division. A guy's your own size. So those 10-pound rehydration claw keeps you honest. You're not going to cut weight 2 times leading into a fight and gain 20 pounds. No, you would have to have actually been around that weight. And the only thing you stand to gain is the initial 10 pounds. Meaning, when you fight for the IBF organization, don't think that just because there's a 10-pound rehydration claw, that on the night that you walk into the ring, you can't weigh past 10 pounds. That's a big misconception people have in the sport of boxing, and I'm here to clear that up. Okay? This is how the IBF works. Okay? You make weight on the weigh-in, right? On the first day. Let's say the fight is scheduled at 140, hypothetically. You guys both make weight. Bam, 139 and a half. Next fighter, 139.2, whatever. Okay? Bam. You both made weight. You're under the 140. The next day at 9 o'clock in the morning, you got to make weight again. At 9 o'clock in the morning, you got to get on that scale. You can't weigh past 150 pounds, which is the 10-pound weight limit. That's the 10-pound claw, right? So you may weigh 139. The next morning you wake up at 9 in the morning, you got to be under 150. You can't pass 10 pounds. Okay? So at 9 in the morning, you get on the scale, 149 and a half, right? You may wait. The other guy gets on, 148 or whatever, he may wait at 9 in the morning. Now, after 9 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night in the fight, you have the right to gain any weight you want. You can go gain an additional 3 to 4 pounds and eat and hydrate back. Yeah, but all you're going to get is 3 to 4 or 5 pounds. There's no human in the world that can make 2 weights like that and gain 20 pounds. That would be fucking ridiculous. I've never seen no shit like that where you stopped yourself from making 2 separate weights and still get the fuck out of here. That's Superman shit, right? You would have had to been around that ballpark, that original weight ballpark, 140. That means that you would have been a natural 140 pounder. That 10 pounds keeps you honest. But on fight night, once you pass weight at 9 o'clock in the morning, those fighters can go in that ring anywhere between 152, 153, 151, 154. Yeah, they're past the 10 pounds. But that's just into 9 o'clock in the morning. But you're not gonna gain fucking an additional fucking no. It's only gonna be 2 to 3 pounds. And there will be no weight bullying involved. You are naturally that division's fighter. And that's why men and women can pull that off for the IBF because they're fighting their opponents on even playing fields. Where that the other organizations, WBC and Point, will allow their champion to enter the ring not only 18 pounds over the scheduled fight weight limit, but an additional 13 pounds over the regulation limit. Meaning Devin Haney should have never been approved to fight Regis Progress on the night of their fight. When Devin Haney entered that ring to fight Regis Progress, that's where the corruption is. Somebody could get killed like that, bro. Like, there was a lot of millions, and I get it, man. There's a lot of people over in attendance that bought tickets that are sitting there. People rented out hotels. They placed bets. Motherfuckers, they better be a winner in this fight. I get it. But technically, the moral thing that should have been done, Devin Haney should have never been able to compete, at least for that belt, against Regis Progress. And even if Devin Haney beat Regis Progress should have still been the champion. If he had a better fucking management and better people talking for Regis, he could have worked that out right then and there. Because the weight that Devin Haney entered that ring with, that was illegal on so many fucking levels. Yeah. So, yeah. Zepeda is the mandatory for all the belts. He should get the winner of Tank versus Shakur. That would be fire. Zepeda should get Shakur now. Fuck Tank Davis and Shakur. It should be Shakur and Zepeda right now. Look, Zepeda was offered to fight Shakur quite some time ago. Maybe he wasn't ready for him then. I think Zepeda, it doesn't fear, or a lot of other fighters don't see Shakur as that dominant fighter that, it's tough to beat him. It's really tough to beat Shakur. So, and then to get a guy that's going to move like that, these guys expecting these guys to stand in front of you and exchange punches. But unfortunately, that's not how boxing is supposed to be performed. It is a sport where that you hit without being hit. And that's what it is, So Zepeda should have really been ordered by the WBC to fight Shakur Stevenson. The fact that the WBC is entertaining a matchup with Tank Davis shows you that the WBC really does whatever the fuck they want. They don't really follow the ranking system and the way the honor in boxing, the way it really should be, and Loma shouldn't be able to just take hiatuses like that. If you want to go on a hiatus, fine, go on a vacation, but put that belt right there. Leave the belt right there and now go on vacation. If you want, you could come back and compete for it again. It'll be here, but they will be a new owner. You don't get to hold up divisions and belts because your heart's not in it. Then you should have never competed for that belt in the first place. You're fucking with people's lives here. So it's just excuses, a lot of smoke and mirrors, smoke screens. Loma just doesn't want to fight Tank Davis. And what they're going to try to say is, what are they going to say next again? Shakur's boring. Tank Davis is boring. That Shakur's going to run, not stand there. Those are all the reasons why you're not fighting him. Those sound like reasons that I would fight that guy. If that guy's boring and he's always running, Well, damn it, then that's a free fucking belt. He's gonna run, he's gonna be boring. All I gotta be is electrifying, and I get another belt. But yet, Loma's gonna sit in front of a microphone and say, boring, not exciting, running, right? So I'm gonna duck him. You're describing that they're not good fighters, but you won't fight them. I'm telling you, boxing is fucking backwards like a motherfucker sometimes. It really is. It really is. It's fucking backwards, right? But yeah, yeah. Yo, Bam, my dude, I'm gonna do something with you today. I feel like taking one today right now. Yeah, matter of fact, you gotta be kidding me right now. All right, okay. Let's wait here. Panda, Panda should know. Fuck, I should just call him. Sometimes I be hesitating calling some of these guys because you know, you know how it is. Well, you guys don't really, but you know, I don't want to seem like desperate or whatever. I left a couple messages, but I'm not sure if they're getting them or not. But I should just call the number itself because I do have Panda's number. I actually have like his phone number, so I should just call him and shit. I've been giving him space, and then after the loss with Subriel Matias, I just like to like avoid from thinking about it because of my personal connection as being a Boricua. So, I always pride myself in the fact that I don't have a horse in the race and that I don't have favorites. So, Subriel always being a special fighter, I just kept it pushing. I kept it pushing. I have to, I'm doing my job here, and I'm trying to bring you guys fighters and get fans from all different aspects. So, when Subriel lost, I just thought to give Panda and Subriel and them some time. Then all of a sudden, I seen him on YouTube talking about the split. Then I was like, fuck, right? So I got the number of the coach or the former coach of one of our fighters from Puerto Rico. And, but as fight fans, I want you to know right now there was no bad blood. This was just a different. Supriya probably wanted a different look, and um, his management felt like they can go somewhere else instead of always traveling out to Mexico. And that's 4 months out of his life. I guess they're gonna try to find him better training at home. Not better as a coach, but just training better. Training. I didn't mean better as in better than Panda. No, no disrespect to Panda. Panda is a hell of a coach. And I just want to let the fighting fans that there was no blood lost there. Fans are trying to gas this up and make it more than what it was. Panda still has a lot of amazing fighters, William Zapata and much more. And he will have future fighters, So just because he split with Subriel, what's that mean for me? Not, I mean, that's business. As a coach, though, Panda, I would love to talk to him. I would love to talk to Panda and have him come on my show and talk to me about his fighters and William Cepeda and where he sees William Cepeda's future and what's next for William Cepeda. Oh, I would love to chop it up with him and stuff, but it seems like a couple things happen and stuff. And I've been a little hesitant, but thank you for like saying that, what I mean, because it made me think, because I legitimately have his number. So I'm gonna give him a call. I'm probably gonna get it's still way too late right now to give him a call and shit, right? I guess, right? But see if I can set something up. And another thing for just in case you guys are interesting and you guys want to follow more stories and more fighters that I cover. currently trying to drop a quick interview with Michelle Ali Rivera with his upcoming fight coming up so soon, um, and everything, and also with Jermaine Ortiz as well. Um, he said that he had an announcement to make, so hopefully he comes and joins in on my platform. I reached out to him, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so look, fight fans, um, I had an amazing time with you guys as always. Please like the videos, share the videos. Most importantly, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'll be let me look back and answer some of your questions. What's up, Justin? How you doing, baby? Yo, Justin, how you doing? Huh? Yeah. Shakur is a free agent. He should be able to make the fight. The holdup could be a multi-year deal, and Shakur is not interested in that. Listen, um, first of all, Shakur doesn't make his boxing decisions, right? As we all know. His boxing promoters, managers, Jay Prince, and whoever he co-affiliates again in the future with. Jay Prince is the type of man that he's dealt with several different athletes, different sports, the music world. He's has his hands in boxing. And Jay Prince right now doesn't, I wouldn't say doesn't have the financial backing, but in a boxing match, this is what happens when Bob Arum puts up all that money. He's banking on the fact that he's going to make a return. And if Shakur Stevenson lays an egg and nobody comes out and sees his fight, you could be paying much more money and not seeing no return on it. And since it ain't going to be a pay-per-view fight, so not everybody is willing to fucking put their neck out there for everything. So, but where does Shakur Stevenson look? If I was Shakur Stevenson, I would have signed back with Top Rank. I probably wouldn't have signed for the 5-year deal. I talked about this. I would have negotiated a 3-fight deal. One of the fights in that 3-fight deal, I know Top Rank was gonna be like, well, then you have to fight Tank Davis within those, because Top Rank is gonna want to secure the biggest fucking fight, which they couldn't get with fucking Loma and Tank miraculously, but they're gonna get with fucking Shakur, so yeah, there's nobody else I would like Shakur to fight anyway. If Loma's gonna play keep away with that belt, and that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean about other countries getting these belts, taking them home, and playing keep away with the belt. Perfect example. I don't have no motivation. My heart's not into it. At the biggest fucking fight of your life, possibly the biggest payday you've ever made, you're 100% fighting on pay-per-view. No thanks to you, Loma. This is all due in part to Tank. And you're going to get a pay-per-view cut out of Bob Arum was going to get him some of that pay-per-view money, even though Tank Davis was going to try to get all of it, right? Because he's going to be like, yo, my fighter's in the fight type shit. But I've seen fights where, the other guy just didn't get any cut of the pay-per-view. Only one guy did. Yeah, I've seen that. Yes, I have. Yes. And then I've seen sides where, both parties negotiate percentages for both their guys, but it doesn't make sense to be this old in boxing, that skilled, a champion on your way out. Everything you wanted on your way out was more money and a shot at legacy. There it is. You got a shot at legacy because that fight against Gervonta Tank Davis against Loma, Vasily, it would be for 2 belts. That would be a unification. They both got belts. The winner of it's going to walk away with 2 belts. So you got a chance of winning 2 belts. Like I said, the most money. And you're saying, what? I don't buy it. I think he's just scared. Yeah, Loma. He's just scared to lose again. Yeah, the losses he took, the times he dared to be great, came up short. Yo, that's not no fault or nobody else's own but you, Loma. And I understand you don't want to ruin your career or your legacy any more than the losses you already have on your record. But fuck it. Once you got into the position where you were at, wins and losses for your career, would one win and one loss more define you as a champion, Loma? Be honest. No. I don't think losing to Tank would not make you not go into the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Winning the fight against Tank would solidify you in the Hall of Fame, right? So I don't understand. Anyway, I mean, Loma's got a belt. You shouldn't come into boxing, win a fucking title, and then you started negotiation. You were aware that Bob Arum was negotiating a fight with Gervonta Davis and his team. You were aware of this. And all of a sudden, we got within like the last 48 hours, everybody's been reporting it. When I saw it, Loma said and typed out all of this shit. So, yeah, man. Well, fight fans, that's all I got for you tonight. Look, I really wanted to test this mic. I didn't even want to go on this long. I hate this process when you're switching over stuff and you're learning what you can give or take. Because unlike the tutorials they put out on YouTube that all their sounds sound identical from their testing sound to their recording sound in real fucking time, right? It's not like that. It's not like that. So the only way I'm gonna find out is rocking out on a live and praying that my audio sounds great for the next time. All right, fight fans. So thank you. I appreciate the everyone that's in here. Please smash that like button. Thank you for watching this episode. And I know that they fucking around in YouTube right now and not sending out the notifications. And because today I think they did something with the servers and might not be popping up. I don't know. Right. But please, while you guys are here, please smash that like button. It allows me to continue doing what I'm doing and covering the sport of boxing. All right, guys. I think it's just a you don't need to piss off Tank Davis. For what? Why are you pissing him off for? Or a strategic move to piss off Tank? It's not like you're dangling your belt in front of his face. No, you're trying to wait out the Americans and let Tank fight Shakur and then come fight the winner so that you could take Tank belt and Shakur's belt, but let the Americans do all the work. Let them take out each other, let them unify the belts, then you slide in and beat them and take all the belts. Typical. All right. Love you guys. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Give the videos a like. Peace.